I get so like, when I feel my heart beating, I have to like, my leg has to start, I trick my mind into thinking there's a reason my heart is racing, so I start like bouncing my leg, or I'll start like moving a lot more to like make myself feel normal. But for me, I see a psychiatrist, and I could run a pharmacy out of my house. I have like more pills than, I don't even know. But it depends on your type of anxiety. If you are somebody who you're like the thinker, and you overthink, and if that's your anxiety, then seeing like a therapist would be super helpful. But if you have physical anxiety like I have, it's like I need medication to function. I am so on edge, and like my body will just literally shut down. I passed out in malls just from like no reason. Nothing brings it on. It just happens. So I have to have like I have a pill in my pocket just in case, always. It's just like, it's like a part of me now. But definitely, it depends on your type of anxiety. So don't just like rule out something.
Yeah, because everyone's different.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't been on medication in forever, which is,
that's good. You can do it.
Everybody's different, and what I do every day, if I know I'm gonna have a bad day, sometimes you just wake up, you're like, shit, not my day. Yeah, it's just sometimes you don't have your day, and I find this is what helps a lot for me. Create a routine for yourself. Whether that's like what I do is I walk to a coffee shop every day and I spend like $3 to $5. Yeah, I'm probably gonna be broke at the end of the year, it doesn't matter. But it's $3 to $5 and just getting that routine, getting those gears flowing, everything's moving. And then I also started back up playing some sports and just like hanging with some friends. And I hang out with friends, I schedule them like every Thursday, we all get together. And it's just creating that routine for yourself so you have something to look forward, something to work towards. I think it's really, really helpful. Routine people are probably the best.
I think hanging with friends is important. I think as content creators, a lot of times you're very isolated and you end up making videos and talking to lots of strangers on the internet, and you have a false sense of connection, which is lovely. But then you really, when you start playing a team sport or you do something, you're like, oh, I really needed this because I've been talking so differently to the world, as a creator than as a real person.
As hard as it is, and I don't mean to sound like an ass, but you can't really expect life to change when you're just sitting your ass on a couch all day. You gotta get up, you gotta get moving. And I'm not saying you gotta be physically active, but you gotta go hang with your friends. You gotta go have something to work towards. And I know that's hard, everything's easier said than done, but you gotta do it.
Oh yeah, like for me, I'm usually cooped up in my dorm room all the time, and I have my desktop in there where I have to edit the videos. So I can't really take that to the library to try to get out of my space. So I've just recently tried to start getting more physically active. And I've just started doing boxing for about 3 months, and that gets me to physically leave my apartment, my dorm room, to go do an activity with a personal trainer that talks to me and helps me do what I should be doing. So just that routine of just getting out, doing something that clears my mind, coming back, I think that's something I try to implement as much as I can during the week, so I can like turn off my brain and just do something that's more more physically good for my body that then mentally helps me.
Yeah, changing your environment is like key. Moving around, going to like, I understand you have a desktop, but like getting a laptop, like going to like a coffee shop and working or doing, just changing that environment. If you're in the same spot, living with the same four walls every day, not much is going to change.
Boxing, hitting.
It's strange because this is the one thing that nobody else has mentioned, but if I like feel like I'm really out of it or whatever, I like watching horror movies because if I watch somebody have a worse life than me, I feel a little bit better. Oh, you're dying? You have an axe murder coming after you? Glad I don't.
And someone always has a worse life than you. I don't know. So it's so interesting. But yeah, it's like the perspective. When you are like clinically depressed, you don't have much perspective because it's like you're just like, I'm the worst, this is the worst, I'm gonna die, or that's panic attack, versus the truth is, and then you have a rational person being like, oh my God, you have clean drinking water, you're fine, but you don't see that. You're like, go F yourself, you don't understand. So there is that balance of, and I think Joey said this earlier about wanting to address people who are truly mentally ill, and also just understanding you're a normal person, you're a human being, you're allowed to be sad, you're allowed to be depressed, you're allowed to be disappointed, and that's part of the human experience. I think one of the biggest mistakes we tell children is, I just want you to be happy, because I think that creates such anxiety in a child that I can be happy, happy's easy, happy's easy, but it's, once you're really comfortable with all your human emotions, it's like, oh, I can do this, I can do sad, I can do disappointed, I don't need to like panic and be full of dread. So some of you are in therapy, some of you are not, some of you talk about it in your channels. That's the other nice takeaway from this panel too, is it's like everybody is different and your level of anxiety, like Bradley was talking about, for him it's all physical, so he doesn't want to sit around and talk therapy, because that would not help him. So it's right, like being aware, and like Maya said, auditioning a therapist, like don't get stuck with the same therapist who you're not moving forward with. And I love what Noah said, I got out of the house and I just started boxing. I know it's funny, we tell you, go exercise, go for a walk, get some fresh air, and that is, it's like, oh, okay, I do feel better, thank you. It does really help. Shit, all those studies were right. So what do you guys think, big kind of picture, like what can we do, you know, as a creator community to encourage people to kind of, you know, share their lives, or like what's the one thing, like we're going to do Q&A in a second, but like what's the one message you'd like to give everybody here? Like if you leave this panel, like I want you to know this, or I wish I had known this, kind of break it down like that. Anybody?
Joe, you're smiling.
What do you want people to know?
Slow down. You have absolutely no rush. Like, I'm sorry to like ruin your plans. In 80 years you're dying. It's happening. All right? Slow down. Don't rush it. Take it easy. Take it step by step. You don't go 0 to 100. You go 0 to 1. Right? You go from like crawling, then to walking, then to running. You're still a baby. You're going through it. You know, I moved in beside like 30-year-olds, and then he came to me with relationship advice, or he was trying to get relationship advice, and he had the same fucking problems that a high schooler had. Going through the same thing with girl problems. And I'm like, oh my God, it doesn't change that much. Slow down, learn it, try to understand it. Don't just think, oh my God, I need to stop this. Try to like let it happen. You know, if something's screaming, let it scream. Slow down, let's rush.
That was beautiful.
The best piece of advice I always give myself, I'm just going to tell you what I give. It always helps me every time I'm having a panic attack or anxiety attack. When I think I'm dying, I'm always like, I've been here before, I've been here hundreds of times, I've been here before, and I came out fine. So whatever you're going through right now is going to pass, and you're going to be fine. And literally, I say that to myself every single time I have like an anxiety attack, panic attack, whatever. Just like, I've got out of this before, and I'm gonna get out of it again. So that helps me through like so much. I don't know if that resonates with anybody, but it helps me a lot.
Ricky. What's one thing you want them to know?
Oh, goodness. Am I the last person? Because I haven't thought about this yet.
Maya.
Yeah, just know that it is okay and that it's normal. You're not the only one feeling what you're feeling, because that's what I feel all the time. And for me, like, I'm always the one that is there for everyone else, so sometimes I think I forget to be there for me. So it's just like, know that people are there for you and you can talk about it, and it's okay.
I would say just to realize your full potential. Like usually when I'm feeling really bad, I just realize I think back to when I'm working productively and when I'm in like my tunnel vision mode that everything feels much better for me. So I just say like do a bunch of trial and errors and find something you're passionate about to help give you those good feeling emotions to keep you staying positive as much as you can.
So like when it comes to like when you're too scared to like share your struggles, and you think that like say you were to make a YouTube video, right? And then you're like, oh no, I'm scared of all these negative comments that are coming around. Well, here's the thing. Yeah, you're gonna get negative people that come in, but you're also gonna get like somebody else, like that one person's gonna be like, thank you for talking about it, because you know I've been feeling the same way. So just it will be worth it in the end if you want to talk about it. Talk about it.
Nice. So it's worth it. Slow down. I've been here before and I came out fine. Always put yourself first. I think, you know, as Maya said, we're always so good at nurturing others, and yet when it comes to ourselves, we forget. I will tell you, you know, you don't need to be fixed. I want you to keep that in mind. I think a lot of people show up in therapy and they think they're broken, And that's just not true. None of you are broken. None of us are broken. I think we're all meant to be, we're all amazing and messy people, and there is no amazing you without messy you. So I think you have to enjoy messy, terrible you as much as you enjoy amazing you, and no therapy is going to fix that. So you don't need to be fixed. That's fun, guys. Anybody have any questions? We have about 10 minutes. Yes, right there.
So, as a content creator myself, I find times, or like even weeks, where my mental health gets in the way of me wanting to film or something.
Sorry, can you repeat that last sentence?
Yeah. So, there are times which my mental health, I feel as if I am not motivated enough to film anything. So I want to know if you guys feel that, and if you do, how do you overcome it?
Weeks.
Every week. So how do you deal with that, or what's your strategy for motivation? Like, and how long do you let that go on before you think, oh crap? Like, what's the longest you think you've had like a drought of motivation? Anybody?
3 months.
3 months.
A year.
A year? Yeah. So it's normal. It is normal.
Super normal.
Yeah, what I do is like at that moment, I don't know. Why? Like, why do you have to film? Find that answer. Why do you think you have to film? Do you want to do it? Is it something that you have a passion for? Is there something you really want to talk about? Find that answer first. And if you have a hard time, I'm going to say it all the time, change that environment. If you're just sitting there thinking for an idea, it's not gonna just come out of thin air. You gotta go. You gotta hunt. You gotta hunt for it. You gotta work for it. And I think that's really important.
That's a great tip for anybody. Find your why and make sure you have a compelling reason, because you're not going to do it if you don't have a compelling reason. Like, why do I want to do this? Why do I want to quit doing this bad behavior? Why do I want to engage in this good behavior? If you don't have a compelling reason, you're just kind of like trying to manipulate it externally rather than, internal motivation. Right back there. Yes, miss?
Hi, so being YouTubers, like, there's this level of transparency that you have with your audience, and that's different for every YouTuber, but how do you balance being the kind of person that your audience wants you to be, or feeling that pressure, and also being true to yourself and dealing with your own mental health and your own struggles?
Very interesting question. Anybody?
Yeah, I feel that a lot actually, because I do make music, and I always get people in the industry trying to tell me what kind of artist I should be and what I should be singing about, and they're like, you need to sing happy songs, you need to sing about love, and I'm like, that's not me. Like, I want to sing about like what I'm going through, and for me personally, I always am the most creative when I'm at my lowest, which is really weird, but that's just how I've always been. So I just feel like I wouldn't be me if I wasn't writing and staying true to like my lows and not just my highs.
Right back there, sir. Yeah, you. Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
I'm Chris.
Hi, Chris.
And first off, I appreciate all of you for talking about mental health. Like, I love it. So I have a mental health channel that recently just kind of blew up. And oddly, I relate to Brad the most, right? Like, I want people to just talk about this thing, right? And my channel blew up to 100,000 in a year because, hold on. But I realized how the algorithm worked and everything like that. So I realized that a lot of people here and a lot of viewers relate to the YouTubers, right? So I was making content using the YouTuber as an example to try to help the audience. In the process of that, and I never thought my channel would get this big in a million years, it has affected certain YouTubers. And now that I'm bigger, like, I'm trying to figure out the best way to minimize the harm I might be doing. But when somebody's having, like Brad said, if somebody's having a panic attack on camera and people are watching that, I've been working in mental health treatment for 3 years and things like that. I want to provide them with solutions. Like you mentioned, like, I'm on medications as well. I go to therapy and things like that. So what are your suggestions, so without harming other creators, but also trying to get that message out there when the algorithm isn't pushing out mental health content?
Well, how are you harming a creator?
Oh, man. Well, some creators have seen my videos, and although my intention is to help the audience and not talk badly about the creator, some creators have been affected. Does that make sense?
Do you talk badly about the creator?
I may say that I don't agree with what they're doing, and if I was in this situation, or if I was working with, like, say a friend came to me like that, and they were in a toxic relationship, I would say, break up with that person, or you need to go to couples therapy, but the creator takes offense to that.
No,
I would.
I can see why it would be offensive. It's just almost like you don't live my life. You don't know what I go through in a day. So it becomes like this fine line with a channel like that where it's like, oh boy, you can really piss a lot of people off. And especially, yeah. I mean, but look, there's a lot of YouTube channels that piss a lot of people off. So it's like, if that's the line you're gonna ride, then ride it and go for it. Because there's channels about just straight tea now.
Right, I think your intention is to be helpful, and I don't think you're harming anybody, you're not that powerful. That's a reminder to everybody in this room. You can call me a piece of shit, you can call me a faggot. It has zero impact on me. I'm responsible for my emotions, not you. So it's not your fault if you say something, if you're incapable of offending somebody, you're not that powerful. Next, no. So just onward you go, your intent is to be helpful and not to be a bitch, right? So focus on that. That's your mental state. My intent is to be helpful and not a bitch. Anybody else? Yes, miss, in the front.
So I actually relate to Bradley. No,
Maya?
I'm like a physical person and overthinker person, and I also like write lyrics. I haven't like actually made anything. But I was just wondering, like, I've had so many experiences with therapists, and every time I got like good with one, they would like leave the practice. And everyone since then has given me even more anxiety because they were like cool. So I need something, but I didn't know what to do.
Yeah, I mean, I've had that fear too, that I'll like, get good and then they'll leave. And I think just try to find somebody else, because there is going to be somebody else. But then when I'm not seeing somebody, I'm always writing what I'm feeling, because if I at least get it out of me some way, it helps me a little bit. Or even like find a friend or somebody that you're really close with and just talk to them about it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, we have time for one more. Yes, you right behind? Yeah.
So, as well, I am very physical when it comes to anxiety attacks, and I've noticed sometimes whenever it starts to get really bad, I don't notice that I'm having an anxiety attack until it gets really bad. So, is there anything that you've noticed in the moment when you first notice the symptoms that you can do to like slow it down, like just in everyday life if you're having, because whenever I go to work, sometimes I get really anxious and it affects me going to work because I don't have time to let myself breathe out. Is there anything that you've learned to do to slow it down?
No. I know that's just terrible. If I feel it coming on, I just go home and lay down. I take Klonopin. It's like my prescribed medication that helps subdue my panic attacks. But I have never got to a place where I've been able to beat it. I can like try to tell myself I'm gonna be okay, but it just like I literally feel my body just like shutting down. And it's like, I accept it, and I realize it's gonna suck. I take my medication, once it kicks in, I feel fine. So for me, that works. So that's why I'm a medicated kind of kid, but I'm not saying everybody's like, needs to be medicated.
Yeah, everybody's different. There's so many things. I see you playing with your hands right now. One of the things that I do that helps me, I'm not a doctor, I'm not gonna have the right answer here, but what helps me is sometimes I grab my left thumb and I just hold it. That helps me a lot. It just makes me feel very comfortable, secure. And like I said before, I carry around a water bottle. And for me, I'm sorry for the environment, but it has to be plastic for me. Trying to get away from that, go to the nice 12 bottles, but I'm not a bougie yet. But it's just the feel of it, and just having that, and then going to take a sip. Look how much I drank already, you know. And that's a go-to for me. There's a lot of stuff. There's breathing, and it works. There's so many things that work for so many different types of people. And I think just kind of like letting your body scream for a little bit right now, and be like, okay, and then test stuff out.
I like that. Letting my body scream.
Like inside, like this anxiety is just like trying to get out, right? So I let it sometimes. But then I know, like, after those times, then I know what that experience was, and then the next time it comes up, I'm like, okay, let's try this. If I breathe like this 3 times, whatever, you know, does that help me? Or maybe I have to go outside. A lot of people come up to me and they're like, I'm having so much anxiety right now. I'm like, why are you in an anxiety-filled area? Get out. And obviously, easier said than done, like everything else is. You know, you gotta say it sometimes.
Own it and accept it and for what it is, honestly.
I think a lot of anxiety is the fear of feeling too, and so if you can ask yourself in the moment, what's the feeling? Like when I was about to go on a panel and I was like why am I having anxiety? Oh, because I'm afraid I might seem this way, whatever. So you answer it, you ask yourself, why am I feeling anxious? And I always tell people, what's the worst thing that can happen? Oh, a feeling. And that's the truth, that is the worst thing that can happen. And once you are comfortable with all your emotions, you're less dreading them, and anxiety suddenly starts to go away, because it's like, oh, I can do panic, I can do disappointment, I can do uncomfortable. So get used to practicing emotions. All right, we have to go, but thank you for being here and being open and sharing, and thank you to our panelists, and happy Playlist Live. Drink lots of water.